And I was like, what?
Hello, my name's Douglas McCarthy. I'm the Collections Engagement Manager at Europeana Foundation here in the Netherlands, and I'm also an open access researcher and scholar. What are the main benefits of Open GLAM? Well, for people, Open GLAM means free and direct access to cultural heritage that's in the public domain. And for museums, libraries, archives and galleries, Open GLAM has major benefits, including Open GLAM supports the mission of institutions. It is also a fantastic opportunity to increase their cultural reach, to have their collections and information about their collections expand beyond their own language into multilingual environments such as Wikipedia. And it also introduces the opportunity for GLAMs to learn new things about their collections. It's amazing what people can create and inform museums around when they have the ability to through open access. So Open GLAM means some happy surprises. If you let things happen, it's almost always a very positive outcome. But what are some of the barriers to Open GLAM? Well, the major one for me is what I call the power of the status quo. This means, first of all, risk aversion. Museums tend to be, naturally, quite conservative institutions for a number of good reasons. And today, more than ever, museums have scarce resources. That includes humans and technology. Open GLAM requires some assistance, some expertise, some knowledge, and investment in rights management and copyright, which we know is complex. On the technology side, many smaller institutions struggle to manage and develop their digital assets and to document them and to catalogue them and to do a really thorough copyright evaluation, which is essential to going Open GLAM, to embracing open access. And after the COVID-19 pandemic, more than before, there is increasing financial pressure on institutions, on GLAMs, to generate revenue and income from their images, from their sound recordings, from their collections, whether in the public domain or sometimes in copyright. But what's something that someone else has told me that really opened my eyes and my mind about Open GLAM? Well, back in 2007, I was working at the National Maritime Museum in London. I was the Rights and Images Manager, looking after the photographic studio's activities and also managing a small team in the picture library, whose task was to research and supply mostly images of the museum's collections to academics, to commercial and non-commercial publishers, broadcast media and members of the public. And at that time, in 2007, I had a conversation with our head of digital at the time. We'd been approached to join Flickr Commons. I had heard of Flickr Commons, but I didn't know much about it. And I remember very clearly conversations in an office about whether and should the Maritime Museum embrace the known copyright restrictions that was required to join Flickr Commons at the time and to contribute some of our out-of-copyright public domain collections, which I'm happy to say that we did in the end. So that was a really important first step for the museum to go towards open access. If I had one message to those institutions who are hesitating about opening up their collections, about going Open GLAM, it would be start small. Open access can seem to be quite an intimidating idea or a whole project. I mentioned copyright, digital asset management. There's a lot of coordination and cross-team working that needs to happen. So if this seems intimidating, don't worry. Why don't you start with a small collection or even a subset of your collections? If you're comfortable and confident that it is genuinely in the public domain, then why not start there and release whether it's 50 or 500 items, to the public domain, maybe to Flickr Commons, maybe to Wikimedia Commons, and review and mark the progress of that content with your audiences and with your colleagues and your managers and your leaders as you move forward. So it doesn't have to be a big bang. You can't be the Smithsonian. So don't be afraid to take a small dipping your toe in the water to embrace and start on your Open GLAM journey.